So here's a little follow-up to my video earlier today. Here's the $30 bushingfix.com piece of trash. Absolute piece of trash. So this is just over 1 year old, and look at the condition it's in. This is the little tool, but this thing completely fell apart. It's like this brittle, and this, what you see on it, is the oil that they provided in the package. So you can see I still have some of it here. So I applied this oil to it, just how the direction stayed, and for whatever reason it just completely fell apart. So for $30, I'm gonna ask this company for my money back, because this was horrible. The fact that this is in this condition after only a year, I mean, maybe there's some kind of chemical reaction with the oil that they provide. I mean, just absolutely unacceptable. I'm gonna give a shout out to the channel Drumbyte, and I'll link to their video in the description. He put out a video where he had the same issue on an RX300, you know, just the SUV version of this car, and he thought he was gonna have to replace the whole shift cable, so he took off all the panels and everything, and then he realized it was just the same issue where the original Toyota bushing came apart. And what he did is exactly what I did, where I went to Lowe's, and for $5.70 after tax, I got a grommet, I got an E-clip, and I got the little cap that you see there. I didn't really show the process. I'll walk you through a little bit how I did it. And I mean, that thing is so secure now. And I mean, if it falls apart, there's an E-clip there, there's a cap there. There's so many things that are holding that thing in place that I don't think that thing's ever gonna come apart. And it's really what I should have done in the first place. And I'm making this video, so if you're thinking of getting one of those bushing fix, obviously if it's a different car, it may be different, but a lot of these Toyotas, Camrys, Avalon, Solaras, whatever it is, it likely will use the same thing, or some, you know, maybe the different size or whatever it is. So, and I'll show you. So we have this E-clip. Let's put it back here. So this E-clip, so this was, it came as a pack of 2. That's why I still have one. So there's one, it's upside down, but there's one in there, and then there's one that I have left. There's the little cap. We see, so the tools that you really need to do this are, it's good to have these from Harbor Freight are like $6 to $10 depending on when, and I use this to pry off this panel here. So the good things about the difference between the RX300, so if you just watch that video, he shows you how to do it for the RX300, but for the ES300, what's easier is that you only have to remove this one panel and the little trash can that's here. So you remove the panel, then you're able to remove the screws underneath, and there's like a little finishing panel, this thing, and you just get underneath it. And you know, with these prior tools here, I still have the packaging for it. So Harbor Freight nylon pry bar installer kit. It prevents you damaging from everything. You know, obviously do it careful if you're doing it on a car like this, it's old, but you know, you just pry around the sides and that'll pop off. Then what I had to do to be able to, I was able to do the bushing kit without doing this, but what you're going to end up doing is you're doing a press fit with the grommet, which is actually, I mean, once you get it in, you'll feel that it's in. It sits so perfectly in there. I mean, you can kind of see it here, where that right there is the grommet, and I mean, it fits beautifully, and it fits snugly over the pin. And I use some white lithium grease, so a little bit of white lithium grease, these nylon pry bar tools, and then this is going to be very important for taking out the screws, and you're going to drop them a bunch of times, and you can fetch them with this. This is also from Harbor Freight, just a little magnetic thing to pick up the screws. This is going to be good because you're probably going to drop the grommet a couple times, so you'll need needle nose pliers to fish those back out since it's not metal. And also if you use the bushing kit, I use that to fish out the old bushing fix. And you know, just simple. This is from the dollar store. Phillips head screwdriver, a wrench. I think this is the one that actually comes with the Lexus. I use this to press the little cap on. I use the flathead screwdriver to push the little E-clip, this little clip in. You know, use your fingers to get into place, and then, you know, this was probably one of the finicky parts. Use this to, you know, apply some good pressure to snap that into place. I just use my fingers to push in the grommet. You know, you'll feel it, and at some point you'll get a good grip on it. But to get it, so you obviously need to remove the panel, then you need to remove this, but you can't remove it all the way without taking it all apart, which I didn't want to do. So what I did was, there's 3 screws. There's a screw there, there's a screw there, and a screw here, which I still need to get back in. And you can kind of move it out of the way. Obviously you use this button here, and it allows you to move this back and forth as you need it. It disengages the lock, you know, since the you know, I don't have the key in, and I'm able to move it. So you press that and this, and you're able to move it. And, you know, I got it to like the highest point right in the middle, and that's where I was able to get my hand down there with this thing out of the way and really push that grommet in, because you need a good amount of force and you need to like feel it, but you could do it with your fingers. And then, yeah, I got the clip on, and then, you know, I got the that little cap on. You know, just obviously on the back side there's like plastic. Let's see, so right back there is plastic, the yellow stuff, or the white, you know, whitish yellow. So you don't want to press too hard, but just enough to get that in place. And I mean, that is so secure. I mean, this bushingfix.com, I hate to say it because it's an American company, but they ripped me off. And everyone that they've sold their little $30, I mean, just the cheapest plastic that you can imagine. I mean, for something that at the hardware store, let me show you. Here we could see Lowe's. This is where I got it. This is where he got it as well. So I followed his video to the T and got the exact same part numbers. We could see here. So here you could see the exact part numbers. $2.28, $1.27, $1.78, for a total of $5.70. And each one of those is a 2-pack. So like you saw, I still had a E-clip. I still have a grommet. So this is what the grommet looks like. Let's pull that. So this is what the grommet looks like. And, you know, so you just push that in, put a little bit of grease on it, and push it in. And I mean, it is solid. So for $5.70, I still have an extra one. I have something which, and hey, if for whatever reason it doesn't work, if it breaks in a year, I'll make a video about that too. But I don't see this breaking. I mean, and if it does, I already have an extra one to put it on for $5.70. So for literally 1/10 the price of that bushingfix.com scam product, I have a super fix. I was able to get it today and fix it today. And here's the third product, the little cap. So yeah, the final thing I wanted to say is just a little trick, you know, getting these screws in there. Something you could do, I mean, for this last screw I may do something different, but if you're having trouble, you know, getting the screw, obviously if you have a super magnetic screwdriver, but if you don't, use a little piece of paper towel, cover your screw in it, press your screwdriver into it, and you get a you know, obviously it could fall, but it at least holds it for if you're really careful. So yeah, that's pretty much all the tools that you need for this, but do not buy that bushing fix. I know it's easy, it's tempting, it's super expensive, and it is terrible quality. All right, it's all back together. Seems to have gone back. I don't know if those, I guess those edges were always there. This opens up, This was a little tricky to get back in, but seems like I got it now. And we see if anyway, we'll turn off the light here. So here we go. Reverse, neutral, drive, 2L. Okay, so there we go. $5.70, and I have extras of everything. Lovely. Do not buy from bushingfix.com. Waste of money and time.